Alright, welcome back. This will be hopefully a short video just on the cross product, because I think you guys should have covered it, and I think it's one of the easiest topics that we're going to be covering in the videos today. So the idea of the cross product, so let's say we have two vectors, vector A, I'll fix that. We have vector A, vector B, and we want a third vector that is perpendicular to both of them. And to get this vector, we want to take A cross B. So how do we find out what this value of A cross B is? Well, if any of you guys are familiar with matrices, I'm going to draw up a determinant which you guys can then solve. If you're not familiar with matrices, that's perfectly fine. Just sort of follow along and we'll get to the value at the end. So in our first row, we're going to have I, J, K, where these are the unit vectors. Next row, since we have A first, we're going to have A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. Alright. This will then be equal to I. Then we're just going to have two rows. It's going to be A2, A3 over B2, B3. Plus, actually, make it minus J A1 A3 B1 B3 plus K A1 A2 B1 B2. I'll give you guys a second to look at that. But sort of the idea is, like let's say we take I as our first element, then we just ignore this column right here and this top row. So we make a smaller determinant of what's left. Do the same thing for J, we take out that column, that row, determinant of what's left. Final thing with K, you just need to throw a minus sign on the J. And write the final answer up here. You might notice my whiteboard isn't stable at all, so if it falls, that'll be exciting. So, in the end, we finally get the first component, I, going to be A2 B3 minus A3 B2 plus J, going to be A3 B1 minus A1 B3 plus K A1 B2 minus A2 B1. And so this is our final result for our cross product. So if you aren't familiar with matrices, you can just sort of memorize this and go from there. If you are familiar with matrices, I find that this method is pretty useful because I never memorized this, and this allows me to calculate it pretty quickly. I know I said this would be quick, and this is turning into a longer one. But a couple quick properties that might show up might be useful for later on. A cross B is equal to negative B cross A. What this means is you can sort of imagine you have two vectors. So we have two vectors like this. And so there are two possible vectors that are perpendicular to both of these. It can go out like this, or it can go in like this. And so the order of these two vectors tells you which one you want to get. Another thing, if we're just dealing with magnitude, nope, not a cosine. So the cross product will have the biggest magnitude, and these two vectors are perpendicular to each other. And when they're parallel, it'll go to 0. Alright, I think those are some good things to know about the cross product. That'll be it for this video.